Business, the construction industry's innovation and technology show.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the AEC Business Podcast, the go-to spot for innovation and technology in construction. I'm your host, Aarni Heiskanen, and my guest is Senthil Kumar, CTO and Head of AI at Slate Technologies. We will discuss the use of AI to improve construction productivity and also a little bit about the technological solutions behind the applications. Thanks for coming on the podcast, Senthil.
Thank you, Aarni. It's my pleasure.
Can you share a bit about your background and how you came to specialize in AI for the construction sector?
Sure. As you introduced, I'm the CTO of a construction technology startup here in Silicon Valley, Slate Technologies. Now, let me start by saying there is no time like now to be living in the world of intelligence, both artificial and real intelligence. Now, I was fortunate to start my career in the space of decision science, teaching machines to think, cognitive computing, and applied intelligence, to formulate meaningful solutions to real world problems. Now, in that regard, started by building out decision management platforms and its core components, such as decision engines, your neural inferences, predictive science, and decision optimizer. Now, this had a dramatic and meaningful real world applicability across a number of industries. And over the course of my career, had the opportunity and was fortunate to formulate solutions for wide-ranging uh, industrial sectors such as edge computing, IIoT, autonomous systems, fintech, healthcare, smart buildings, and now architecture, engineering, and construction. So the work on geospatial engineering, smart buildings, and smart cities naturally got me a bit more excited and curious about the world of construction. And that's how I got into it. Before we can make the building smarter, we have to be smart about how to construct the building. And that's the foray into this whole world of AEC. And I must add that what we are doing now is not to be content with incremental improvements through technology for the construction sector, but rather bring about a transformative impact that can set the trend for other industries to follow.
Yeah, that's an ambitious task, I would say, but knowing the industry, but well, you have what it takes, I guess. So could you provide an overview of Slate Technologies and the kind of needs that you provide for your customers?
Fair enough, yeah. So Slate is a Silicon Valley-based startup formed by pioneers in technology and construction industry. Our product helps with core decisioning across multiple facets of a construction lifecycle, all the way from design validation to design optimization to schedule and cost optimization functions and more. A proactive risk identification, and not just identification of risk, meaning it's able to foresee the future and foretell the project is going to get delayed, but also comes up with risk mitigation strategies. That's one of the core mandates of the system intelligence. Now, we are employing some of the more advanced technologies of our time, and we are also inventing technologies. Now, our system serves as a decision assistant to multiple interacting personas in the construction lifecycle, all the way from supervisors, executives to field engineers, performing insightful computation and present contextual intelligence to the human interactors across the lifecycle. Now, in terms of the primary needs of our customers, they can be bucketed into a few themes. Some customers would like to see help us identify appropriate land to build to maximize return on investment, knowing the type of buildings they want to build, to delivering the most optimal design, um, help deliver construction projects on time, on schedule, on budget. Now, further objectives in terms of sustainability and make the work environment a safer place. These are some of the common themes that we have seen from the customers, and these are areas I'm happy to say our product is helping the customers get to.
Okay. Do you have any examples where your AI solutions have
Yeah,
significantly improved construction project outcomes?
sure. Yeah, a few different examples I will cite. Now, there's a large general contractor in the UK. They are employing our solution to keeping their construction schedules current and optimized. Now, adaptive AI models and predictive science help foresee impending issues with the construction schedule. Now, the schedule inefficacies could be because of suboptimal choreography of construction tasks and task assemblies, and not being able to react to the current needs of what's happening in real time or near real time, in which case an optimal course is being charted dynamically by the system. Now, it also factors in supply constraints, impending weather phenomena that could impact certain aspects of construction, human inefficiencies, it could be labor issues, suboptimal design. The system can forewarn about such issues, quantify the risk, and offer risk mitigation. So, from optimized schedule planning using machine intelligence with the human interactors in the loop to enabling smarter interfaces to support field intelligence, the solution enables customers to have a more efficient planning and execution capabilities. This has resulted in significant time and cost savings for this GC, and it's a system in production today. I'll also cite a few more examples. Now, there is a leading GC here in North America, and for a large hospital system, it has its own challenges. Our AI is assisting with analyzing the nature and the types of issues being reported. It can also forewarn about potential issues that could arise in the construction project. Now, it helps correlate the issues. As we know well, Arni, the construction space is one where there's a lot of data, but data is disparate. The correlation of data has to happen to have a meaningful understanding of what's going out on the field, actually. So the system helps correlate this. And where are most of these issues occurring? The causality of those issues, and what can we do to address those issues so we don't repeat these kinds of issues. Now, when these issues are being addressed, it could lead to potential delays in the schedule and so forth. So, in which case, how can the system smartly come up with alternates in terms of schedule so you still don't miss out on your objectives of time and cost optimization? Now, it presents all of this in a visual three-dimensional interface overlaid on top of a BIM layer, and it's also helping the users quantify the schedule delays and associated cost impact. And in yet another instance, our system is being used for generative design and composition of project schedules. So you've got a base design. Through an interactive dialogue with the system can come up with variations of the design. It can go all the way to generating a very optimized, optimal design, bill of materials, and also generates a schedule associated with this. So these are some of the areas the system is currently being put to good use, all the way from constructing a hospital building to a power station to a community of houses and stuff as a value add. So where is AI offering the maximum return on investment? Now, combining the human and machine intelligence paves the way for enhanced decision making and real time mitigation of some of those issues that we are seeing. So, ability to introspect, analyze the data and scenarios through multiple lenses, the multiple contexts is made possible with the AI system. So, you will see surprising revelations when the AI system starts asking intelligent questions about your own data and answering the questions. So,
Hmm.
these are some of the areas it's able to do. More specifically, adaptive intelligence, real time monitoring, resource optimization are some of the areas the system adds more value.
Well, sounds really versatile. I promised that we would discuss a little bit about discuss a little bit the technology behind all this, and what kind of AI technologies have you utilized in your product, and also I'm interested in what kind of data have you used for training your models?
Very nice. Yeah. It's an interesting array of technologies or at play in our system. And we have also been granted patents, valuable patents for multiple technologies that we are inventing on the way. So we are really in the business of transforming the construction sector, the solutions for this sector. So the technologies employed enable contextual and situational intelligence for improving operational efficiencies. So it's not a single AI model, it's an ensemble of AI models. I will go to each one of that. So in this context, the intelligence machined, collective, collaborative is a primary theme, and our technologies reflect it. So fairly nuanced AI models and modeling techniques, technologies such as AI swarm agents, where a group or an ensemble of models work in harmony to meet set objectives. Now, there is both collaboration as well as competition among these AI models to meet set objectives. So you've got a colony of AI agents that are trying to colonize set objectives. One says, I will fight for schedule optimizations. No matter what, I want to complete the construction project on time. The other one says, I want to do cost optimization. So there are seemingly competing models at play. And even within the same category, different models go look at different features in the data that they have access to, trying to optimize, trying to come up with the best course of strategies that we could adopt. Now, one more interesting thing, and you will also see how the technology is layered on top of it, is intent-based computation. Now, the earlier one I was talking about involves computational gamifications across AI agents. Now, intent-based computation, understanding the intent of the user, what is the user trying to ask the system? And it could be different interacting personas. Now, we are all exposed to this large language models through OpenAI, Anthropic, and stuff. And it also, to some extent, involves intent decoding, deciphering, isn't it? Similarly, I could have a design intent and I want the system to formulate optimal design. Now, intent deciphering involves natural language processing, natural language understanding, and natural language generation. In this context, we have implemented semantic and situational interpretability of data and events. So, a given data or a given phrase could have multiple semantic connotations, not just the word, but the meaning behind the word. It's not just a question, but the question behind the question. That's where the system's interpretation capabilities come to the fore, in which case there is a semantic web in the heart of our system that drives it. We also support multimodal interpretations. I spoke about design. There could be schedule optimizations. There could be some questions I want to ask the system. Hey, why are so many issues occurring at certain places? So this modality comes from interpretations of design intent, both two-dimensional, three-dimensionals, interpretation of a corpus of textual data, and triangulation of multiple data streams, and interpretation of space and time for spatial computations. Now, these give the system the ability to perform multimodal interpretations and correlations of system intelligence. We also have built a proprietary language model for the construction sector that is being leveraged. This was one of the first language models that we know that was built specifically for the construction domain. Now, in such a sophisticated ecosystem, one can imagine that the model training would definitely employ multiple approaches and so forth. It's not going to be one strategy, one size fits all. Some that go about the visual introspection, interpolation of data. So in which case, in the computer vision and the nuances around how the model gets trained at the bits and bytes level, that kind of a training strategy methodology is getting applied. Some going through the transformers, understanding the nuances of the language that's used in conveying an issue or not conveying an issue, and the language in which things are getting described. Objective-driven AI is also at the core of all of that. So supervised ensembling through techniques like meta-learning and hyperparameter tuning, meaning meta-learning is a group of models are learning, but there's a supervisor that understands and says, are you learning the right thing? You don't want to obviously learn the bad things and propagate that. Those kinds of training, validation, and articulation of the responses. And of course, the validation happens through model accuracy evaluation. You give the historical data, let's see if the model is able to understand, interpret, come up with the responses we need. So that, in a nutshell, is an articulation of some of the technologies and techniques at play.
Well, I think I would certainly like to see a diagram of that because sounds really high level use of AI. I have just started coding my own little AI app, and I think you're way ahead.
This
Well,
is the right time to be in the world of intelligence, as I said, and there's so many
yeah,
fascinating things are happening. I
yeah,
think
yeah.
we are ready.
So you also already touched on the model ensemble approach and the benefits that it offers. But how does soft data, including personal anecdotes, um, potentially enhance AI model accuracy in your model training?
Right. So when we talk about soft data, as you rightfully said, it could include personal anecdotes, subjective opinions, and qualitative insights. These can significantly enhance the model accuracy by providing a richer and more nuanced understanding of various contexts. Why is that email talking about certain issues in certain connotations and so forth? How do I interpret it? For example, contextual understanding. Uh, this data may contain information that helps models understand the subtleties of human experiences. And we humans have a different way of expressing things as opposed to very objectively machine-like, free or void of all emotions conveying things. That's not how we are constitutionally built. Now, the soft data also introduces the very nice thing about is the multiple scenarios and various perspectives that may not be captured through hard data alone. Actually, through your structured data, you're not going to be able to get this richness and the contextual intelligence. Now, this allows the AI models to learn from a broad spectrum of diverse scenarios. So, scenario based learning, the personal stories, the anecdotes, subjective experiences can be used to create scenario based training for the models, which helps the model learn to handle complex real world situations more effectively. Now, this is also becoming more interesting and more relevant as now more and more people have gotten used to this language model interactions through prompts and stuff. So the decoding, deciphering of the subtleties of what they are trying to ask the system becomes much more relevant too. The different variation of the soft data. Now, the variability of data, when you look at whether it's emails, anecdotes, some documentary evidence and stuff, now, this helps reduce a model overfitting as well, meaning bias identification. For example, personal anecdotes can allude to certain biases and gaps in existing data. That could potentially, by integrating these insights, models can be trained to recognize and mitigate biases, leading to a more balanced output. In addition, it can help with human-like reasoning and narrative reasoning. Hey, I'm soft data provides examples of human reasoning, isn't it? The reason why the last project didn't succeed is because of certain things they are writing down in a lingo that they understand and so forth. And the human reasoning and human decision-making process, the models are happy to go look at it and understand how the human mind, the cognition works things and leverage that as part of their training. Plus, one thing that I think we all need to look at in the world of intelligence, machine intelligence specifically, is ability to understand, interpret human emotions and empathy. The human emotion recognition can only come from this kind of a qualitative data. We're not looking at quantitative data here, but the qualitative data often includes emotional content. Some are good, some are not so good, and some people in the frustration express so many emotions that still the machine needs to understand what the human being is trying to say. But these can help the model have more relatability, cultural sensitivity in what the model is going to interpret and output. So these are some of the nicer things that if you embed your soft data along with the rest of the structured data and give the model this kind of training, it adds depth, diversity, and a human touch to the data. So this can lead to more accurate, empathetic, and versatile AI systems. Now, there's the one thing that is true in the world of construction, and you know this better than any of us, Aarni, is that there is a lot of data. It's not for lack of data. Maybe there is lack of data correlations because the data is siloed, data has been collected by different systems, and not all the systems are able to talk or talk in the same semantic notions and stuff. So being able to understand, interpret that along with the human interactors is a pretty nice thing to do.
Yeah, but what you're saying, if I understand correctly, some of the training that you're doing is dependent on the cultural environment and also the language. So in Finland, we would have a different approach, maybe in Finnish and in Finland, for example.
Yeah, and also the way you're expressing things, and it could be a bit more different, even if I negate the differences between Finnish language and English language. But the way the nuances that you're conveying in the construction project could be a bit different, and the model has to be sensitive to that, to be tuned to that, and to be able to relate and give you the responses appropriately.
Yeah. So addressing biases in AI, what can you say about that?
Um, this is a fairly important topic actually, and becomes more relevant as we start thinking about self-learning models. Now, this is a multifaceted challenge and requires a combination of diverse approaches, especially as we look at the LLMs and the various self-learning technologies, techniques, and models that are being worked on and introduced. Now, when we talk about biases, let's take a moment to understand the origins of biases in AI models, and let's also articulate appropriate approaches here. Now, the biases could come from different sources. They can stem from biased training data set, biased data collection processes, biased human judgment during data labeling. And as the humans are looking at certain data and labeling, it could come from there because we are inherently genetically tuned towards certain biases, whether we would like to admit or not. And there are certain implicit biases with these human influences. And of course, one of the more common things that I have seen is the algorithmic choices that you make can impact the fairness and the biases in AI models. So different algorithms have varying susceptibilities. For example, some algorithms might amplify existing biases in data, and some may even suppress the biases without us understanding that there is inherent biases in the model's output. Now, choosing an algorithm that is inherently more robust to biases and validating it and incorporating bias mitigation techniques within the algorithm is crucial. So, how do we do that? Now, counterfactual reasoning is a technique that we have successfully employed to mitigate some of the issues. What does it mean? It involves asking, what if in a certain things happened, how would the model react? What if I remove certain set of data and not expose that to the model? Would the model's decision be altered? Now, this would help identify and also asking the model to rationalize and reason why it is coming up with certain recommendations. This helps identify if the model's predictions are biased against a particular group. For example, checking if the person's gender alters the prediction's outcome. So if I remove the gender information, will the outcome of the model be the same as in a general neutral tone? So there are other techniques that we also use. One is called the blind taste test. And there's a fairly interesting analogy or one often cited example for a blind taste test is when Pepsi was introduced, the soft drink. The Coke had already cornered the market, and people were already inherently biased towards Coke. So, if I put Pepsi's and Coke's labeled together, actually, Pepsi is a new entrant. We don't know what the real reception was. So, in a blind taste test, you remove the label and don't identify the drinks and have the participant taste the drink. And then you got the factual information about what tasted better. Similarly, deny the algorithm the information suspected of biasing the outcome to ensure that its predictions are blind to that variable and train the model on all the data, including the referral calls that are being made. Then retrain the model on all the data except that one. So if you remove that particular one, the model's predictions, if they're equally good without the referral call, it means the model predictions are better and they're blind to that particular factor. So the process breaks the self-perpetuating, self-fulfilling prophecy that existed in the human system without a we are humans are biased, whether we would like to understand or admit or not. So we want to take that biases out of the AI learning and training process and keep it out of the system. So counterfactual reasoning, fairness metrics, continuous monitoring and gating it. Explain to me why you made certain decisions and stuff. This ensures that the AI systems are fair, reliable, ultimately leading to more ethical and equitable outcomes.
Yeah, yeah, that's a very important issue. I'm sure in the long run, and already we're seeing that. Um, well, how do you see the role of human expertise evolving in conjunction with AI advancements in this sector? Okay, now we.
One moment, I'm trying to get the feedback on me. Just
All right. We have a little technical issue here, but no problem. That's the charm of live broadcast that we. But we can hear you anyway, I guess.
Aarni, could you repeat the question again? Sorry, I'm trying to get the feedback, but
Yeah. Okay. That's. I was talking about the role of our human expertise. How will it evolve in conjunction with AI advancements that you're talking about?
the role of human expertise is set to evolve significantly with the advancements in AI. I see a complementary role where humans and machines cohabitate and co-evolve, and they live harmoniously. So while AI brings a plethora of benefits such as enhanced efficiency, predictive analytics, and increased automation, the human element shall remain indispensable. Now, here's how I see the evolution unfolding. Enhanced decision making. For the near term, AI will serve in an augmentative role as a decision support agent. Now, AI will augment the decision making process by providing executives, supervisors, and other interacting persona with data driven insights, predictive analytics, and real time risk assessment. Now, this allows for more informed and timely decisions, ultimately leading to better project outcomes and strategic planning and innovation. Now, if we delegate AI to managing operational tasks, the supervisors and planners can concentrate more on strategic planning and innovation. Now, this is where the human intellect is so much more valuable than the machine intelligence alone. And this will lead to the creation and integration of new technologies, ensuring that the teams are future ready and driving continuous improvements in project methodologies. Now, collaborative decision making, it's another area where I see the human and AI collaborations. There'll be more opportunities for humans to be in the loop of AI agents for collaborative decisioning and tapping into the combined intellect and intelligence of the machines and the humans. Now, the project managers will work alongside AI, and they are doing it today now, to leveraging its capabilities to enhance their own insights and their own experiences. Now, collaborative platforms powered by AI will improve efficiencies and coordination among the stakeholders. These are some of the areas where I'm seeing how the human interactors will play along with the AI agents. Now, one more area that is of interest and quite relevant is ethical and contextual judgment. The ethical oversight, the human judgment will still be critical as much as the machines are able to think and reason out. The human judgment will still be very critical and vital in ensuring that AI is used ethically and responsibly. Now, supervisors will oversee the AI applications to prevent biases and ensure fairness. Also, the contextual understanding, we spoke about the soft data. So I definitely see a role where the humans will be able to help the machines understand contextually, and that human expertise is still essential for understanding unique contextual nuances and also managing the cultural nuances that we spoke about. So together, the human and the AI expertise will lead to a transformative future. And I see a place where humans and the AI agents cohabitate and co-evolve together for a period of time until we hit what was called the artificial superintelligence. But then there will be role reversals at that point in time, is what I would think.
Yeah. So,
I'm trying to fix my camera, but that's okay. Please continue.
yeah, it seems to be some trouble, but we can see you now. So yeah, you said that if I repeated that the impact of AI on construction will be transformational, and
Yeah.
but well, maybe it's time to ask you now. Where can our audience find more information on Slate Technologies and connect with you?
Yes, and it's at slate.ai is the website, and where we have a lot of information about what we are working on, the types of innovation that we are bringing about, the types of advanced AI technologies at play. I think definitely would welcome the audience to look into it. And I am available on LinkedIn, and I'm fairly active there. Happy to help collaborate and share more of my experiences and insights.
Yeah, I will include your LinkedIn profile in the show notes for sure, and the link to your site. Well, Senthil, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your insights. I think we just scratched the surface, and maybe we'll have to do another episode soon to go even deeper. But this was really impressive. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Aarni. Thanks for it.
Thanks for listening. Subscribe to this podcast and visit aec-business.com, the award-winning blog, for more news and stories.